We're back again. Welcome back. This is the segment where we're going to find out who's going where. Abanye baya puma, abanye bayeza. But before we get to that, class is in session. Clint, we hear parents wanting their youngsters. I want my youngster to be able to get into professional football. That's a risky business, that. Where do agents then start being able to be taking care of that business?
So in terms of at least the FIFA agent regulations, my license itself is not enough. You have
sorry. FIFA. Isingela ko strateng, ko Komora, ko 15, I span that contract.
Yes, so you have to get certification to represent minors. When we're speaking of minors, we're speaking about players below the age of 18. And you can only enter into a representation contract with them before 6 months before they can enter into a professional contract with. So in South Africa,
that minor, at what age group do you start? Because is it a 13-year-old? Is it a 14-year-old? Where do you go?
So in South Africa, I think I stand to be corrected, but the first a player can only sign their first professional contract at the age of 15. Okay. So that would be between 15 months, 6 months before they turn that age.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's important. Then it becomes now you need to be able to go. Mara, maybe you can touch up on Lufuno. Your team is signing, or are they signing? Is Kaiser Chiefs sign? I mean, you look at players that have left at Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah.
Ngobo, God.
Yeah.
Jabulo Ngobo. We like
Skukun.
Okay.
Team we reject. Skukun.
No, but no, you can't come with that.
Go dash. Yeah.
No, let me.
Available. Let's
okay. So you are saying Skukuni deals with reject. Skukuni finished to win the...
Predominantly so.
Okay. Skukuni finished to win the league.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's not a... No, Lufuno, Araba Buji.
No, Marakio Araba. No. Rocha play Tabaya or record reject. Really feel like Cardoso and TNT. So, Luna Harra release La Mata.
Okay. So, Kaiser Chiefs bought Kama Billiard. Nearly reject the guy.
Release you.
Anyway.
I'm still crying for that.
No.
Release you.
So a youngster wants to go and join Kaiser Chiefs. How do you then go about it from an agent perspective? Do you need the parents' consent, paperwork? What paperwork needs to be filled so that everybody needs to be able to know? Buy one, get one free. Lufuno will take anything that they can get.
By youngster, I just need to understand whether you're speaking about professional
youngster
or a professional youngster. So usually there are different ways in which clubs deal with it. There's what clubs enter into called young professional contracts. It's just a title on the contract, but at the end of the day, you may be a professional player once you enter into that contract. So you have to enter into it knowing the risks involved, and that is where the risks and everyone come into play, because you have to understand the risks that are involved in the market because of that, because you sign a young player professional contract, and the player is 23 and is still on the basis of that young player professional contract. So those are the risks that one needs to understand, because you have to create a proper pathway for the player to be able to elevate, and should they not be able to break into the first team at that particular club, have options elsewhere.
Marabutata Kuri, agents have to deal with all these clubs. You've come with another club. How do you manage that? Because on this player it's a no, yet the club wants him. On this player, it's a yes. How do you navigate that?
I am a player representative. I do not represent myself. I represent the best interest of my clients. And that's just how you deal with it. It's what your client wants, and it's what you have to help your client achieve at the end of the day. So if my client doesn't want to come to your team, he doesn't want to come to your team.
What you're saying is important, because you're saying client, meaning you represent the player. There's no way where the agent says Kinyagawe and then that's where the player goes.
No. It shouldn't be like that. The player is the main client. It's his career that you are acting on behalf of. So you act on behalf of the player. You don't decide where the player goes. The player must say. And that's why initially when we spoke about what happens when a player is out of contract, I said you have to sit the player down and he has to give you the lay of the land, to understand where we can go and give you a mandate as to which opportunities to pursue.
So when the player is ready, must go to one to infinity. You will sit them down, understand their path, and be able to get. Mara, the fact that you are here, other people think that their pain is not seeing Clint. Chief, do you have a coach there by Sundowns? More transferring listing there, a coach.
Who busy?
I mean, transfer windows open. Who's buying for Sundowns? If they say Sundowns want you now, who wants you at Sundowns?
The system.
Mara Lekoko is a senior coach. So why are you not telling him you got a senior coach then?
No,
You don't have an
he's
assistant.
an assistant coach.
No, it's a senior coach.
No, Lufuno, we've got to now go and say, teams have offloaded, teams have bought. You look at Orlando Pirates, the likes of Dash are gone, the likes of number 45,
Mashonisa.
Vincent Pule, gone, and then there's new players that are coming in. You've got Gilberto, who is their marquee signings. Your thoughts on the transfer market from a Pirates perspective?
Look,
So keep in mind, or you will see them in the derby and they will want to issue heads.
no, I think, as you said, Gilberto, I think, is the main man that they've signed so far. He's bringing a lot of experience in terms of the Champions League. They are in the Champions League, so they need to beef up. Looking at that as well, really they need to go past the stage that they fell last season. So they need to go into that group.
They fell at a number of stages. Champions League, they fell.
Yeah.
The league, they fell.
But the other two,
the other trophies, the MTN and Nedbank.
By the way, they say Jose Rivero keeps reshuffling the whole technical team of Sundowns. They say they reshuffled Manova to assistant, and then they elevate Sunshine. Now he reshuffled Sunshine. So he don't play with Pirates, my man. So
Talking of that, and it's very important, there was an issue of talent in Mbata.
yeah.
How, from an agent, the legalities, he was on loan, who has the first right to what? How does that work?
So previously, loans used to be an opportunity to give young players an opportunity to go elsewhere to get game time. But the industry has evolved to a point where loans are used by clubs for different reasons. You know what we call transfer misses, and to avoid a transfer miss, you'd go to a club and say, I may be interested in this player, but I am not sure as to whether the transfer fee that you are requesting is suitable
worth
with the player.
I mean, Kaiser Chiefs went through that with Gonzalez, but anyway, Siko Lab.
We dodged the bullet.
Gonzalez came for loan and they never activated.
And those are the risks that are involved in football, because you may go on an outright transfer to buy a player who is good elsewhere but just doesn't work out at your particular team. So the loan system is basically where a player is still contracted to one club, is registered with one club, but that registration is passed to the other club, and then for a particular period of time, it's usually between two transfer windows, from one in January to the end of the season, or from the start of the season to the end of the season. And then after that, you can now either trigger an existing option to buy the player, or you may just say, it's not working out, let him go back to his previous club.
Don't know, One Infinity is in black and white, so class was in session. Class is dismissed. Clint, thank you for coming. I don't know, when they say things happen in black and white, there's boxing matches at Pirates. Clint, thank you very much for coming. All we ask, please help Lekoko and I. We need to find coaches at Sundowns because they will be. But we will carry on after this and be able to get to a point where we then say, where is it that we are headed in terms of these transfers and who is where? Because, there's a lot on our last segment of the show.